Hi guys, welcome back to another P3D version 5 video. Today we'll be flying the Fokker 27 or the Fokker F27 Fellowship, which is a turboprop created by Fokker back in the 1950s, if I'm not misremembering. And we'll basically be flying, let me just check that I have some sound on. Looks like I do. And we'll be flying from Malmö airport down to Rostock. And the idea is to do a double flight actually. So we will be flying first the Fokker F27, donning the SAS livery down to Rostock, and then the Fokker F50 back to Malmö. So let's see how that goes. At least hopefully we'll get the first the first part of the trip done. Let me just quickly move the aircraft back a bit here, because I noticed it was a bit badly placed there with let me see. So I'm gonna like that. That's a bit better. There we go. So yeah, as you can see, the textures aren't the best on the outside. It's not a bad aircraft. It got pretty good reviews. This is one of the better Just Flight products in terms of these, or the ones that were delivered for P3D. I know in Microsoft they've taken like the next step and are like one of the best developers, but back here they did more light system ones, and this one I would say is a bit more thought through, at least if I wait, I'm gonna move that, sorry guys, if I remember correctly. So I'm actually gonna, and that was the reason why I opened that document, because I wanna make sure I have the manual on my hand so I can make sure I do the steps correctly. Just Flight do have pretty good manuals. I'm just gonna show you quickly here. 70 pages of quite a lot of stuff, and you have like usually a start, like a tutorial flight that they help you go through. So that's pretty nice. We'll be flying VOR, so that's good to be aware of. In terms of texture, you can see here, not the best, not the worst, not Carenado level, but not the worst. It's P3D version 5 native aircraft, this one, but it's certainly doesn't look like it. You do have a cabin. Let me just see if I can find a good viewpoint to get into the cabin. Maybe this one, but it is quite light, as you can see. You do also have the cargo hold here, and then a bit of the inside, which is also very light. So yeah, the chairs look pretty good, but yeah, this is mainly for the outside perspective, so it looks like you have some depth in there. But yeah, let's get going. We're now on the inside. The first thing we'll do is do the external power, and then the battery on. So we'll have the external, you can see it's visualized on the outside, which I like. What we can then do, those should be on, the inverter should be on, the alternator should be on, pitot heats, and anything else that we need to do already. We can do the fuel pumps, because we are gonna want to have those at some point. And let me see, these ignition switches should be off, and then we have the ground call button on the overhead panel somewhere, this one, and this gives us some, so we can open with Shift E, Shift E2, Shift E3. Unfortunately, Pack X, let me just see if I got the doors. Now I got all the doors. Pack X doesn't seem to work for me anymore. I don't get any sound. I'll put it on just because we want the landing rates, right? But it doesn't seem to function for some reason. I'm not sure if it's my latest flight, but it's kind of like removed the sound of it, so I can't hear anything. So I might have to add that myself. Basically, just play the files that I've added. So it's not the end of the world, but of course would be nice if it worked. Another disclaimer also, SimBrief only has the F50, same with Pack X. So I'm just gonna add it from here. Let's see if we can get Pack X to work. So I'm gonna put in these ones, but my fear is that it won't. Yeah, it doesn't seem to work. The way you can, or the way I've tested it is by going here and just asking for a boarding status check, but I don't get anything back from them. So unfortunately, looks like we don't have any sound. But in order to remedy that, I think we can just actually play the music straight from the source. And let's see if that works. So if we're doing boarding and sus, we can just put it on in the background. Looks to be working. We'll put it on so it plays in a loop. I'll just have to remember to close it. And of course we'll hear it on the outside now as well. It's quite interesting though, you can open the door and then the main door, so it's like two different ones. A door within a door, so to speak. Let me see, I'm gonna do the flight plan import from SimBrief just so I can see, so we can set up the nav already. So that should be 1845. And there we go, 1845 with a course of 179. And now I'm trying to, oh there we go, that's how you hide the, so 179. There we go, so we're gonna go head down south before we then start to head towards ETNL. And I'm actually wondering now if that one even has any VORs, and it doesn't seem to do that. Interesting, an airport without VOR? That's... can't be. Can it possibly be? Maybe it can. I'm looking basically here, right, where it says we don't really have any. I'm gonna have a quick look at the PDF from SimBrief as well, just to confirm that we don't really have a VOR. Nope, no VOR there. That's very interesting. There's no one close by either. Here there is one, Brunkendorf, but yeah, so we'll just have to do a direct to 219 with the heading. Hopefully that doesn't put us too much off course, but let's see. So we won't be flying any SIDS and stars. That's good to be aware of. We can actually, I'm gonna bring this one back up. And then I'm gonna just check that we get this right. So runway, we're going to 150, 15,000 in flight level. We're doing runway 17 as the SID. So we can load and approach 09. You can choose which one. Doesn't make too much of a difference. Let's do the Y and then vectors. So we should go actually. We should track 229. Yeah, like that. Or 228. Yeah, 229. So let's keep that in mind. Let me see if the config is set up correctly. It does look to be set up correctly. Scandinavian. I'll connect to the sim. Let's remove the 80s. I'll move this one down. And I'll file the flight plan. Whilst we wait, we can have a look at let me see if I can. Oh, I don't seem to have active sky running. That's highly unfortunate. Let's see if we can get that. Okay, so active sky, we need to have that. And we need to have Rex for the cloud textures. Sorry about the noise. It's just once you start the it will have this thunder noise. So let's see now if this works. Okay, looks like we're getting the actual weather now. Not clear skies, but an overcast. And now we can... oh, we don't have a flight plan loaded, so let me just load it. I'm just gonna change something here a bit, then press OK, overwrite, yes. Do you want to move? No. There we go, now we have a flight plan. And let me decrease the volume a bit on the boarding music. But yeah, let me see, I don't think there's too much else we need to do. We have the inverters. The AC power needles are indicating 28, so that's good. This one is in safe. This one is receiving power, at least on the engine number 2. I think these ones should be on total. We can also switch on the nav lights. And the fasten seatbelt, no smoking. I'll start the beacon one as well. And let me see, anti-collision lights. Guess we can put those on as well. Nose wheel steering, we want to activate here. Fuel tanks should be on both, which is this one. Looks like it's on both. So you really notice that it's an 1950s aircraft with all these kind of switches and things. It's a really popular one when it came as well. I think it was like almost 600 sold of these, so the most sold Fokker of all time actually. Let's see that these work. Water, methanol injection. I'm guessing, I'm wondering what this is used for. Probably to give more thrust, I assume. Let me see what else. These HP cocks should be on shut. Love the name. The gear is down and 3 greens. We also do have the oxygen, which we can try by putting on, making sure that that one indicates it's working. And then let me see. Anything else we need to check? We can do the warning bells. So those seems to work. So yeah, pretty good system depth. We can also actually do. Let me have a look. It's this datum I would want to. We don't want to do rudder trim, but I think it's below 15 degrees, so we can do on 100 on the fuel increase. Flaps are set correctly. Let's just have a look here. Do we see any miles or anything? Nope. Okay, we are ready to go. Since we don't get any info from this one, well, apart from, you know, we'll get the landing rate, we can just see that, okay, the pre-flight is on. And what we can do then, remove the crew call, we'll shut all the doors. That should be all the doors shut. Perfect. And then, let me see. I do wonder if you can actually start this one with solely the... I will need the external power before we... So let me see, I'm gonna ask for pushback here. Scandinavian 4003, ready to copy IFR clearance.
Scandinavian 4003 is cleared to Echo Tango November Lima as filed. Expect departure runway 17. Climb and maintain 4,000.
And 17 is the one quite close by here, so not a long taxiway.
Scandinavian 4003 is cleared to Echo Tango November Lima as filed. Climb and maintain 4,000 feet. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Squawk 4346.
Oh, sorry about that.
Scandinavian 4003 read back correct. Altimeter is 3003, let us know when you're ready for pushback.
Altimeter is 3003 Scandinavian 4003.
How high did they want us to climb? Climb maintain 4,000 feet. That makes sense. Do we have any indicator? Doesn't look like it. I haven't used the autopilot. I actually bought this aircraft just recently on the Just Flight sale because I've been interested in trying it out since I heard good things of it. But okay, we know the squawk, which is... I do wonder where it is actually. 4346. 4346. Can we see it anywhere? 4346. Maybe it doesn't have a squawk. I mean, it's an old aircraft, right? Let me actually see. Yes, I'll interrupt the pushback. I wonder if we do the GPU start with, but I don't think we might need. We can just kind of taxi by ourselves, I think. So let's skip the GSX one since we need to use the ground to start. Okay, here we have altitude hold, so that's good. Flight director should be on, of course. Here we seem to be selecting which one we will be. So we can do nav, heading. I think we can put the heading as well to 179 just so we have that set. And then this should be the autopilot, so let's see a bit how that one works once we're up in the air. Hopefully it's not too difficult. Okay, and we have pushback. No, we don't. Scandinavian 4003, ready for pushback. Now we have. Okay, so the way you start this,
Pushback approved Scandinavian 4003.
you arm that one, you ready that one. Put on the ignition and you fire it up. Then you do this one to open. Look at that. It's running. Let's look at the RPM values so we can see them actually go down. Looking good. And you have to actually follow this startup procedure quite thoroughly, because otherwise it won't start. So that's good to be aware of. Talking about that, you actually do have some of the exterior model, so that's really nice actually seeing one of these old aircrafts with some of the exterior model, the outside with the wing as well. So that's nice. Specifically with one of these aircraft, right? If you just go a bit above, it would look weird if you didn't have the nose, right? I mean, the nose is the characterizing feature of this Fokker 27. I think actually this is the 300 model as well, if I forgot to mention that. Okay, that's a good start. We will go back to arm. I think I ready that one. The ignition is also on. Then we just replicate. Looking good. We can open that. So that's nice to see. We don't really have any, we have the GPS and then some iPoint tool, but you don't really have any, actually talking about that, I haven't done any fuel planning or any weight, put that in. So let's just quickly jump into that, because you have to do it through, no sorry, not the flight planner, through the fuel and payload. And we should be at around a fuel of 5,000 according to this, but that's flying the Fokker 50, right? So we are gonna play it safe. This is a much older aircraft, so we can keep it like this, I think. Okay, let's see. Looks good. I'll lock out. Okay, I maybe should have waited for this one to stabilize before I did the lockout, but oh well. Could be worse. Doesn't seem to be any to set kind of the V1 speeds. I guess you would calculate that then separately and just keep track of it. Let me see here. Can you, because this one doesn't seem to be on. Oh no, this one is on as well. Interesting. So I guess it's tied to the same flight director. Okay, good. Then I think you can go safe. You can shut these. We can trim it down a bit. I think 1.4 should be enough. We can go flaps. 1 might be enough. Let me have a look though at where do we have the flaps. There we go. So the flaps on all these old ones is always here on the co-pilot's panel to the left. That seems to be the standard, or one of the standard things back then. Isolation switch I guess we can keep as is, and then we can move this to battery. So now it should be on battery. Scandinavian 4003 ready to taxi. And I also remember we don't have any safety, right? So I'll play that
Taxi to runway 17 via taxiways Charlie.
manually.
Hold short runway 17 Scandinavian 4003.
Okay, good. Looks like we are ready. The last thing to do is this datum up here, if I'm not totally and sorely mistaken. Spraying air temperature control tower, and we do have quite a low one. Altitude. It should basically be there, yeah. So let's put that in. Let's have a look quickly. Anything else we need to tweak? Taxi light should go on. And that's that one. Not sure why navigation was shut. Same with the collision lights. Maybe when the power went out, those just shut, but okay, okay. So let me see then if there's anything. Oh yeah, the autopilot is the blue switch, or then it's this one for the autopilot master. So what we'll do is we'll do old school way. We'll do thrust reverse. I think it should be strong enough to get us out of here. Might have to brake a bit. Yeah, this is the way, guys. This is how you do it. Okay, so let's Okay, we can't brake too much. This should be enough of that thrust reverse. Oh, it's a bit crazy with the taxiing. Like, look at that, I just switched from thrust reverse. It just, I guess that makes sense, right? If the RPM is high and then you switch off the thrust reverse, then yeah. But I find the taxiing to be actually the worst part with this plane, if I'm being frank. Okay, good. I think that's the boarding checks are done. Let me just have a look at... Yeah, fasten seat belts and those are done. You do have the wipers here as well, but there's no rain effects or similar. And actually these ones should be on the... Oh, let me see. How did I manage to close that one? What I want to check is actually what you should keep them on. So weird, it's saying that you shouldn't move those to the lockout position, but then at the same time it says that you should. Okay, I guess we can just keep them here on the main. Okay, good. So there we go. I'm gonna pull back a bit on the throttles. And then let's have a look at our pilot to ADC. Taxi all the way to the left here and then do a right turn. Looks like the weather is clearing up a bit maybe. God, it has so much thrust, this one. Nice though to see the tiller moving. That's a nice animation to have. Since we'll be going to from runway 17, we'll be basically just turning a tad bit to the right, and we'll be on our first VR. This is only a 130 nautical mile journey, so southern Sweden to northern Germany, so it's not a long one. Okay, let's see if we get the taxi. Sorry, not the taxi, but the handover to the tower. There we go. We'll do the landing lights and the strobe light. Scandinavian 4003, ready for takeoff. Okay, maintain runway heading until runway heading until above 1,200 feet. Yeah. Okay, something good to mention that I forgot is the airport actually. So this is the Orbex Malmö airport, which is pretty nice. Then we have the photo reel for Sweden by FS Scenery, payware with Autogen, and then northern Germany we have the Orbex regions, and then we have a freeware from I think Simmersholm for Rostock. So we're flying Malmö to Rostock. Now let's see if we can get going. fuel flow we can see down here, but where do we see our fuel level? It's probably somewhere. Hopefully we don't run into the same issues we did with the TriStar by Just Flight with the fuel running out. That was less fun. Okay, let's see. Looks good on the left. Looks good on the right. We'll just get going then. We don't need these ones actually. And we don't need the ignition. Keep that on safe. And let's see. Ready for takeoff. Airspeed alive. We don't need to push too hard on the RPMs. Looks good. V1. Rotate. There we go. We have a positive rate of climb. We'll trim up a bit so we don't have to pull back on the yoke too much. There we go. The gear is up. Going flap 0. Looking good in our surroundings. You can even see our shadow here from the aircraft following us. I am not seeing the DME, so I'm wondering if that's something you have to activate. No, there we go, 60 nautical miles. Now I'm really interested in seeing how this one will work. We're above 1200, so we can turn to our right. And let me check here quickly then, because now here we do have the autopilot, so this is a crazy old okay, so we activate. Oh, now I turned way too much. Well, let me see. I think it's on nav mode now for automation. Doesn't seem to be tied to this one though. So the question is, will we be turning to the left? In terms of the vertical, I think this one controls that. So if we left click on it, we see that we pitch down a bit.
Heading 160 Scandinavian 4003.
Okay, are we turning now? That's the main question I want to see. Doesn't look like it, so I'm gonna
heading 160 Scandinavian 4003.
That looks like we have approach. I'm gonna have a look actually quickly at the autopilot just to see what is what. So 29, page 29, that will give us the autopilot settings. So autopilot engage, we have that. Autopilot power. Oh, there we go. Okay, and it's engaged, so we have different settings for different. If we want to do beam switch, heading nav hold, that's 5. Is it though? Ah, there we go. Nav. Now we're nav. Now we should be following the localizer. So that's very nice to see. Let's see if we can. Not sure how the vertical works really on this one. Can you pull it up manually? No, then it will coming down, so it's not like the Boeing, right, where you pitch yourself kind of thing. Let's shut some of the lights. Taxi lights we don't need. We can shut the landing lights as well. We're quite high, almost 10,000 feet. Now I'm very interested in seeing if we'll get back on the localizer. I think the speed is looking okay. Any warnings or similar? Nope. That's good news. Let's have a look quickly on Prepar3d.
Climb to flight level 120 Scandinavian 4003.
120, that sounds reasonable. Now it's interesting to see if we'll be turning to the right here to follow the course. Looks like we are turning, so that's good to see. So it does seem to work. So quite an easy autopilot. Just need to remember this switch between the heading and nav. Quite old school. Airspeed, altitude, halt. I guess that's like the IIS switch, but I'm not sure how that one is supposed to work. Yeah, resume navigation, we can do that. What did they give us? 12,000, right? Climb to flight level 120, 120, and we're supposed to go to 150, right? So still a bit to climb, but nothing crazy. How do we look from the outside? Looks pretty nice. The weather is quite okay, some overcast. Let's have a look at our destination. Didn't have too thorough a look before. Well, looks okay. Temperature 16 degrees, quite a warm day for being October. And of course it's also across the pond today. I'm seeing that. I just quickly got a notice on that. That's cool. Maybe some of you all are participating in that. Let me see if there's anything else. Interesting going on. Can't find anything as of now. We're climbing still to 12,000. So across the pond is interesting. A lot of flight level 150. Yeah, that makes sense.
Scandinavian 4003.
Let me see if there's anything else you need to set on this one. I'm wondering about like pressurization and those things, but maybe it's not not that problematic. Cruise, altitude hold on, speed hold off. Okay, interesting. So this one works as altitude hold as well. I'm also gonna try this one once we get up to 15,000. Nothing that interesting. 110 with full flaps, 95 at runway threshold, and 90 knots kind of the landing. Yeah, not that much else to do. So quite a nicely. Oh, you can open the window, but that was a bit. We're quite. We're a bit above 10,000 and pressurized, but yeah, here we go. If you want to have a look outside, yeah, that's a bit interesting. Almost at 14,000. What the hell did I just open? Sorry about that, guys. I think I opened the active sky weather radar. I think we should just put this on standard. Overcast at 15,000 feet, so that's perfect.
Center on 125.8 Scandinavian.
Let's see if we get this to decrease.
Center Scandinavian 4003 climbing to flight level 150.
It looks like, I'm not sure if you drag it or pull it, because I don't like to have the text that shows you what to do. It should be more intuitive than that, right? Okay, we're soon at 15,000, so let's be ready to prepare. We're all 20 nautical miles, and then we'll turn right to 229. Okay, let's see. One more. So in about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we should be in altitude hold mode. Quite an interesting aircraft. I'm not sure if it's pretty or not. It does look a bit wonky with the black nose and then the kind of chunky body, but the fuselage. I wonder how this one deals with crosswinds, because it does feel quite quite large. Specifically with this thing here, couldn't they just have? Or maybe that would be unstable. There we can see some cargo ships at the bottom here. Now we're coming in over Germany with the Orbex regions. Not looking the best always, but at least much better than normal land class. Okay, let's have a look now. We need to be turning to the right, 229, very soon. We have about 50 minutes left of flight time. And 15 nautical miles left to turn right. And then we'll need to switch this to heading. So I'm gonna prepare actually the heading. Bug to 229. So that's 21. And then we'll zoom in a bit. So that's 22. That's almost 22. So now we have 229. I'm not sure why, but it does seem like we are we're descending a bit. That's odd. Thought we had altitude hold on, which we do seem, but we do seem to still have the ability to control the. That's interesting. To control the pitch. Or not the pitch, but the vertical speed, at least through my Logitech multi-panel. But yeah, that could just be an interesting thing, an interesting tidbit. But yes, we'll need to turn to our right very soon. I'm just quickly gonna pause it here and do a little thing. I'll be right back. There we go. Let me just move my recording to my other screen. Okay, looks good. We have about 8 nautical miles. So we can start planning a bit of our turn. We'll just have to switch to heading mode by clicking the B, no sorry not the beam, this one. And then we can start going to the right. We also need to start planning for our landing. And the way I'll do that is by going to ChartFox and open ETNL. We can start our turn now, I think. 5. We can wait a bit, we're not that big of a hurry. Which one were we landing at though? Was it 21? Runway 9. Okay, so we have the ILS on that. What's the ILS? It's 108.55, interesting, with a 9.3 course. Okay, and now we switch. We're on heading. And let's see now. So now we'll be turning. I hope we didn't turn too soon. Should be fine, hopefully. We'll be flying over the nice northern German coast, which back in the day extended almost all of southern Baltics, but some mishaps during the beginning of the 20th century unfortunately doomed them. Funnily enough. Okay, let's see. Maybe we can go one bit to the left. I think 228 was the one for the actual ILS. Okay.
Descend and maintain flight level 150 Scandinavian.
For some reason we have been continuing to climb above our altitude. So I'm actually gonna remove that, see if we can get this one to descend. Let's see.
Expedite descent to flight level 150 Scandinavian 4003.
Or actually let me do hold, then I'll do the vertical with my Logitech panel. Okay, so we have a bit more of an advanced autopilot when I use the Logitech one. For better or worse. Let me think. I wonder what the winds are gonna or are at this direction, right? 'Cause we might be being pushed a bit off course. I have a vague feeling of that. Let me have a look. Yes, the winds are coming from the south. They're not that strong. But they are pushing us a bit, so I'm gonna switch that off. What's the... let me see, winds to loft at 14,000. Yeah, that makes sense, it's around -6. And what's the winds here actually? 12. From the south as well.
Radar control on 123.3 Scandinavian 4003.
Should we be getting the descent clearances now? We're only like 10 minutes away. I hope. I do hope.
Radar control Scandinavian 4003 at flight level 150.
110.
110 Scandinavian 4003.
We'll descend with 1,500 feet per minute. We can also prepare for the approach one, so we'll look quickly at the charts, which we did already, and that was supposed to be 9.3, right? And then with a localizer of 18550. It's 18. Let me do this 1855. Is this active? Doesn't look like it just yet. Well, we should soon see it. And actually, just to make sure that we aren't missing anything, let's have a quick look here at the Rostock. 1855.097. Yes, okay, good. We can close that. Now it seems to be up and about, so that's good to see. We can throttle down a bit more. In terms of other things that we should prepare is to see if we have a minimum. Can we set minimums? And we can, and the minimum is transition altitude is 5,000 and the minimums are 340. So there we go, 340. Yeah. Zoom out. Oh, don't want that to show. Easier to fly without it. Oh, sorry about that. Wanted to remove the tab on the top. Okay, so we are descending. We can probably descend maybe a bit more. Let's do 1.8. I'll throttle down a bit more with the RPM. 070.
Flight level 070 Scandinavian 4003.
And I do wonder. Doesn't seem to be any altitude switch though. Here I'm just thinking, cause why am I able to do that? Oh, here's the. That's a bit sad. So they do have a weather radar, but it doesn't seem to work. But maybe you can replace it, right? I need to have a look at that. Looks like a pretty good day for flying actually, up here in northern Germany. Not bad weather at all actually. Okay, we're below 10,000 feet. Let's turn on the landing lights. Let's do the taxi lights, I guess for the approach, use them for some extra lights. Or maybe you don't even need to turn them on. I'm not sure with these old aircrafts what the ops were in that regard, but we shall see. Let's see. Okay, climbing 8,000. What did they want? The 7,000, right? And then I guess it's let me have a look. 2,000 feet, 3,000 for the final approach. 2000 for the final approach.
Altimeter is 3000, descent to 2600 feet, Scandinavian 4003.
2600, we can a bit arrest our descent, we don't need to do, we can do 1500. We're going quite high in terms of airspeed, so might want to decrease that a bit. We can do that also by pulling back on the yokes, of course, to decrease the thrust. It's about 27 nautical miles, so not that long. I'm actually gonna do us a bit more to the right, because I wanna be able to turn in a bit more heading. Still looking pretty good. The regions does look very nice because you have so many objects and stuff filling it out. I mean, but it's just the kind of blockiness, right? That's the land class biggest. It's not too bad. You know, the fields look pretty nice. The cities, once they're enough, you know, compact, it looks pretty nice. But then you get these weird lines. That's my only gripe with the regions. Okay, let's see now. We're still below 250, so that's good. We're going below 5,000. According to Prepar3d, we have 11 nautical miles till the next waypoint. We'll have a look at the approach. They have not given us any any vectoring yet. This vectoring doesn't really work once you're flying this too far out. I mean, I can see where they're gonna give it by pressing approach, but it's like, how am I supposed to connect to this? Because they're probably gonna give it when I'm here and be like, turn right, and then it's just, let's see how much we follow that, or if we just get do straight in. There we go. 250. 2,500 feet.
Heading 250 vectors to the ILS Yankee approach for runway 09 descent and maintain 2,500 feet, radar control 133.1 Scandinavian 4003.
2,500 feet, which we'll soon be at.
Radar control Scandinavian 4003 descending to 2,000.
And let's remember that this is the approach, the beam one. Good afternoon to you too. Okay, we're on heading 250. And we are soon at our altitude. According to their approach, we should be at 5,000 feet. But okay. Let's see if they give us a clearance to turn left at some point soon. I'll continue to pull back a bit on the throttles. Just so we bleed off some speed. Let's see, we'll be coming in here. See the lights flashing there, that looks pretty nice. 180.
Scandinavian 4003.
And what was our course? 193. Okay, so we'll be kind of flying right into that. Do we have any text about limitations in this one? I'm thinking in terms of flaps. So let's go to the first flap level, just to bleed off some more speed. Okay, and I'm not gonna be turning right, that makes no sense.
Scandinavian 4003.
I'll rather do 120. 125. I'm actually gonna turn even more, 110.
Fly heading 125 cleared for ILS.
Just look at that. There we are.
118.42 Scandinavian 4003.
So we are getting on, and now let's activate approach. You can see that the glide slope, we are below that. 3 0 0
Altimeter is
3.
3003
Okay.
tower on 118.42 Scandinavian 4003.
We can drop our gear. We can, let's just see if we get this glide slope to come down.
Tower Scandinavian 4003 inbound for ILS approach runway 09.
Still no effect on the glide slope. We'll add a bit more thrust.
Continue ILS approach to runway 09 will call when established on final Scandinavian
Just to make sure we don't
4003.
drop off too much in the speed. You can see it a bit by us having to pitch up to maintain our altitude. The glide slope is coming down, so let's be ready to remove the altitude hold. We can see the runway in front of us, so that's where we'll be landing. Coming down, coming down. We'll remove the altitude hold. Now we should be solely flying with the approach. We will put on the taxi lights just to make sure. And anything else that we need to do? I do not think so. Let's see, now it starts pitching down. So we are on the... no, it starts pitching up. Say what? Now it's going down. Okay, maybe it's supposed to do that to kind of get on the approach. We're gonna throttle down a bit and I'll add one more flap level. That's looking good. We can go one more flap level. What's the last one? That was 26. Then down. So I guess that's full flaps. Okay. Let's see now. Let's go flaps full. We're a bit high. But we are descending. Should be fine. So let's see. Around 90 knots is our landing speed. So we can drop off quite a bit still with the landing speed. And now we're getting quite nicely on the glide slope. My controls. Okay. So let's see now. We're actually a bit below, so we're gonna pitch up a bit to ensure that we don't have too high of a vertical speed. We'll throttle down a bit. We're a bit low still, so I'm gonna pitch up a bit. Hopefully we can bleed off some speed. Still, it's looking okay, but we're still a bit low.
Clear to land runway 09 Scandinavian 4003.
We'll definitely be bleeding off a lot of speed by doing this. We're around 110. Because we're pitching up a bit, but hopefully we get back on the right poppies. We're okay with one yellow, but we should be two. I think everything is set though, otherwise. Gear are down. Gear is down. We have 3 greens. We have the lights on. We have the flaps full. Around 100 knots. Okay, let's see now. Now we can a bit descend again. Looks like we are should crab a bit to the left. Okay, let's see. Oh, we got landing clearance. I forgot to ask or tell them that we're established on final. Okay. Yeah, let's crab a bit to the left. I think this should be okay. There we go. Get that nose down. We'll just let this one go right to the end. Look at this scenery though. This is really good. Really good scenery. And what do we have there? Some other aircraft. We can soon start braking. Oh, a Dash 8. And then I guess an Airbus A320. Okay, still looking good. We'll begin braking a bit, just to slow down. So we can turn here to the right. We don't have an APU or such to worry about. Okay, looks good. I think I forgot the tiller on, or the nose wheel steering, so we can just continue taxiing. Not the brightest yellow lines here, but it will have to do. Go flap 0. Does this even have speed brakes? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so we'll do it like that. And it looks good. We'll just park here somewhere. Let's see if we have any suitable parking spaces. Here's something for cargo. But do we have something for non-cargo? Change facility. Maybe we can do there. So let's park there. And what we'll then do, we'll shut the stuff down, just have a look at Pack X, get our landing rate, watch the replay, and then we'll switch over to the Carenado Fokker 50 and do our return flight. Also donning a Scandinavian livery. Maybe we can don the same livery actually, I think I have that. Not sure why this one considered that. Oh my god, this this does pick up speed fast, but why is that parking considered too small? I think it looks very sufficient, but let's see. Okay, turn to our left here. I'll park here next to the... Is that in Air Berlin or... Air Berlin? I thought they had bankrupt. Maybe AIG still has them in the system. Yeah, I'm just gonna... I don't trust GSX with these parking stuff. There we go. Much better than GSX would have recommended. They still want us to come forward. Okay, now in order to shut these, I think that should be sufficient. We can open the doors. I'll also close Prepar3d and just restart it for the next one. We're taxiing in here. I'll do seatbelt signs off, deboarding, and flight 55. Yeah, that's pretty good landing rate. Let's close the door and let's do a quick replay. Now we can go a bit further back. Nothing crazy though. 290 should be enough. Okay, so we were a bit low on the approach, but still within the realm of possibility. No minimum callouts. I forgot, to be honest. There's no automatic in this one. Quite interesting runway. Really well done, I must say, to Simmer's Home. They do make a lovely freeware scenery. They're the same that did the Malta one. So let's see here. And we're coming down. We could have already come down there, but maybe it's a bit more. Do they even touch the ground? I mean, they do touch, but it looks a bit off with the touching points. But yeah, overall good landing on the central line and such. That's nice. I'm gonna press ESC, and then we are gonna start with our next flight, which will be flying with the Fokker, with the Carenado Fokker. So we have either this commuter Europe, or we have the normal livery. We're gonna do it the same one, I think, that we did on the way down here, just to stay on. And what I'll do is I'll actually go to settings here, 'cause they should have one. Here we go. Cold and dark, and done. So there we go. So now we are switching over to the Carenado F50, so the modern version of the. I'm gonna start Prepar3d here while we wait. And then I'm gonna take a nice picture, if I can find a nice viewpoint. Or maybe something like this could be nice for the commuter. Maybe do it a bit smaller. Let me see. So something like this should be nice. But let's see if I can merge the two the two pictures. So yeah, the Fokker 50. Now I haven't really looked too much into it, but we can have Wikipedia help us. So much less popular, built from 85 to 97. Only around 213 were built. So not really at all. Seems like there's a new engine as well, Pratt & Whitney turboprop. Wonder if it's used on anything else. The ATRs uses it, and the Dash 8. So that's quite interesting. As you can see, the Carenado is very nice on the textures, as always. The outside is very beautiful. You do also have a nice cabin. So quite a bit of a difference compared to the F27 one. This, I guess, is how you want the cabin to look. It's not though one of the best, and I'll do give Carenado a bit of. It's not the best one. I've seen better ones, right? The Saab, and then, I mean, look at this. There's no. So this is not the best one. Let's look. Have a look here as well. Yeah, the inside is also a bit dead. If we go then to the cockpit, really nice, very shiny. No rain effects on this one, but you do as well have some of the external model, like Carenado always has a lot of the external model. Basically everything. Not sure if there's even a difference in the model. You can open the door. And here you can see actually that the cabin is nicer. So there is a bit of a difference, right, with the cabin from the interior and the exterior. Here you even have the luggage compartments, and you do have, as it looks at least, the floor and the chairs. So I'll give them some credit. Okay, they did actually do it quite nicely. Let me just see if I can close the door. Wonder what I opened there. Let me see, where's the door? There's the door. Door locked during flight. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Some pretty nice viewpoints as well. It even looks better than reality, right? This looks so shiny. I guess that's the only bad thing. But yeah, so we'll do our flight. I've already done a Simbrief flight plan. So we can do our payload this time before we're starting everything. We should be at around 6,000 in fuel. So this is quite okay. Cross weight, we should be at around quite a bit higher actually. So I'm just gonna set these. We can still be a bit higher. Like that. Okay, so we're a bit heavier now. Which I think you can see on the aircraft as well, being a bit lower to the ground, not as light. And yeah, we are flying then from Rostock back to Malmö. So just kind of the same flight, but back again. This time we have a switched aircraft, of course, that being the major change. And I do think we can use GSX this time, so I'm just gonna open the doors. It's too small, but we'll operate the stairs. We'll do AHS. I'm wondering if this. Oh, it is actually. No, so this is a. That's why Air Berlin is here. It's a stock aircraft, not AIG. That's good to be aware of. In terms of passenger count, it's only 39, so not that many. Batteries, we can switch those on. I don't think there's any APU on this one, so that's just good to remember. This is. I like this one more than the Saab, but I'm trying to think if this one is actually less high fidelity, or it's more of an automated flight, right, or an automated aircraft. That's also, but you do have the same universal FMC, so that's, and then you do have the flex stamp. So I guess it's quite a well modeled in that regard. But yeah, let's do pilot to ADC, and I just realized I have not loaded in updated nav data, so that could be an issue. Specifically for the approach. So if we do, and I'm actually gonna start the boarding process, so we have that, and the pack X will be going up to 19,000 feet on this flight, so a bit higher. 503, cruising altitude of 19,000, because it's a bit of a longer journey since we're flying with a star and landing at runway 17 as well, so we have to make a bit of a turn. Fokker 50. Oh, was it 39 passengers? Yeah. We won't have the boarding music again, unfortunately, because I doubt Pack X has been fixed, but it's I guess it's worth a shot. Can't hear anything, unfortunately, so what I'll do is I'll just play it again for my own immersion's sake, but at least we'll get the landing rate, right? And let me see, I'm gonna keep that. We can board crew, that's fine. Then we can have a look at ESMS, which we can enter there. And then let's go to next. To menu, departure will be runway. Yeah, this is so old, it's runway 10 here. Then flight plan, and then the arrival one. Still seems to be the same, knock on wood. So we can do that one. And then the ILS. Let me have a look now, because this is what I... oh sorry, we'll import the... Oh yeah, we imported the flight plan already. So now we wanna have a look. There's no SID, but there is an approach. No, sorry, not an approach. There is a star. So hopefully we have some alignment there. In terms of the... Yo, you do have the soup transition. Okay, good. Very nice. How does that look? So you'll basically fly... is that... Maybe that's the issue. So if we do only vectors... We'll do only vectors, that's easier. We can go have a look at our flight plan while we wait. Okay, you can see it already starts with the approach here. So in case we want to avoid that, we'll start here. We can do... I don't think you can do airways, so we'll just do... Let me have a look at what the different GASPO we can do as the first one. So GASPO, then directly from GASPO to Nonsa. Hopefully that one does exist. And then Austin. Then from Austin to Buckley. Oh, but that's interesting. Didn't I put in an approach? Why don't we get the... Oh, that's odd. That's very odd. Not gonna say that I understand totally, but okay. We'll do it manually then, just to make sure. So Buckley. And after Buckley we have Tidvu. Hopefully it exists. And it doesn't, but we can try to think what we can do. Let me have a look here. We do have that set, that's fine. Okay, here we go. Buckley, then Alem. Alem is quite close to Tidvo, or used to be there if I remember correctly. That's like the old waypoint. And then it turns, it will be a bit different, but close enough, I think. You can't change these, so that's a bit unfortunate, but at least we get the flight plan. These are also connected, so that's a bit sad, but not the end of the world. Good. We can connect. We can file our flight plan already. We can swap the con. Scandinavian 4003, ready to copy IFR clearance.
Scandinavian 4003, this is latitude for ground on 121.9 or 5, go ahead.
Scandinavian 4003, ready to copy IFR clearance.
Scandinavian 4003
Okay, now
is cleared to Echo Sierra Mike
Squawk
Sierra
5502.
Expect departure runway 09. Climb and maintain 4,000 feet. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure.
Okay, 4,000 feet.
123.3.
I can set that here.
502.
Scandinavian
Anything
4003
else
is cleared to
we
Echo
need to
Sierra Mike
set?
Sierra as filed. Climb and maintain 4,000 feet. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Radar control on 123.3. Squawk 5502.
Scandinavian 4003, read back correct. Altimeter is 3003, let us know when you are ready for pushback.
Altimeter is 3003 Scandinavian 4003.
I'm trying to check actually if I go to night mode. Can I see any? Not sure why I can't see any of these. I mean, this one seems to work, right? I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be able to turn these ones off. But oh well. Looks pretty nice when you go to night mode. I just wanted to check. But okay, so we can't see those. Not the end of the world. As long as we at least, I think the rest is working, that should be fine. We don't need that. You can't even see the collision light, that's odd. Did our battery run out? Wouldn't surprise me if it did. Do we even have external power with this one? Doesn't look like it. Oh well. Not the end of the world. I'm trying to figure out if the reason why I'm having these issues with this one and the ATR was because I used that, there was some PBR upgrade for it. If that's messing it. But I'm not sure. I'm gonna close the doors. We can prepare for pushback. Let me have a look here if there's anything else we can kind of do or set. Don't think so. I think the altimeter is correct. Well, let's have a look. 301. Okay, 3001.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Scandinavian 4003, ready for pushback.
Scandinavian 4003 pushback approved.
Pushback approved Scandinavian 4003.
And we're going from runway 09. So that means quite a long taxiway to the end here, and then
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin returned in.
seatbelt signs can go on. Let's have a look here. We'll do, okay, seatbelt signs, expedite cabin. Oh, it's in pre-flight already. Nav lights on. Auto. Oh, what's the barrow actually? 1016. That maybe. Okay, we'll do nose right, tail left. Okay, I think we are ready. Yes, I will. Oh, and here we can kind of put in the date and flight number and stuff, so that's pretty cool. Okay, I think we are ready to go. We have pushback clearance, so let's do our journey back.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Gonna hide that one, and then can we unhide? Okay, we got start at will. I do want to see one yoke at least. Okay, if we want to start the engines. Let me have a look. That's the electric. Oh, it's starting. Sorry, me couldn't hear anything, right? So I was like confused. But there we go. So that's the right engine. We push that up to start. Then I guess we can go open. Sounds a bit louder than the old engines.
Waiting your confirmation for a good
confirm good engine start.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
We'll start the left one. Let me see if I... Oh, there we go. God, I really don't remember. I'm not sure the lights are working up here either. Okay, bypass pin removed, yes.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
I need to have a look at this overhead panel. What's going on? We can open that. I think you want to put it to open. Let me see, what's the settings you have here? Yeah, open should be enough. So let me see. Feels like it's quite high values, but I guess maybe you have that with with this aircraft to stay in the greens, right? Let's go. Flaps 5 should be sufficient. We're in the green band, so that should be okay. Let's set this one up correctly. At least this one is quite easy to handle compared to Saab. Full arc. Let's do map. We can change to FMS, so we get LNAV, which we have activated. Sorry, there we go, FMS. So now we have the TCAS on. Here we have the limitations at least, right? That's good to see. I guess we can try flex. Let's see if that's implemented at all. We can put radar on. Let's see if there's anything else. I don't think so. I think we have it all. Let me just move down this picture. And then what we'll do is release the parking brake and start throttling our way forward. Oh, that was a bit intense. Wait, what's the low pitch? Guess we don't need those engine ignitions. Maybe nothing of these do anything. Huh. Oh, here it does. You can close the valves. Oh well, let's just try. We don't need to have the AP engaged. These should be set correctly. Good, and I think nothing happens with the brake pressures when I push. That's a bit sad. Can we put on the time at least? Okay, that one can run, so that's nice. Okay, I'm gonna throttle down a bit, see if that helps. So generally this one is more modern, right? So a bit easier to handle in that regard, but it doesn't feel like it has the same system depth as the other one. And I do feel like the volume is a bit higher on this one, so I'm actually gonna turn it down a bit just with the... Not sure it's that loud, but maybe it is. I mean, it's a turboprop, right? They're known for being loud. Okay, here we can see takeoff speeds, which should be around 110 for takeoff. We'll try to go quite fast on our... We're gonna climb... Well, we're gonna be giving climbing clearances very fast to 9,000 to 19,000 feet. Since we're not flying a star. Sorry, not star, a SID. And actually this plane with this kind of like up and about kind of autopilot, it reminds me a bit of the A380 for some reason, just in that regard. Taxi light should have been on, my mistake. Quite a strong taxi light, as you can see. That should be toned down a bit, I assume. Oh, Scandinavian 4003 ready to taxi.
Taxi to runway 09 via taxiways Charlie. Hold short runway 09.
Yeah, I totally forgot to ask for taxi clearance. Mistake on my behalf. Okay, and let's do... At least the tiller seems to be moving the front wheel here, so that's nice to see. Taxiing isn't though Carenado's best thing. Carenado makes amazing textures. They should just have outsourced everything else in terms of systems. Then they would have a very nice plane. Okay, let's turn here to the right.
Tower on 118.42 Scandinavian 4003.
Scandinavian 4003 ready for takeoff. 1,100 feet. 325. We should just be able to use
squawking 5502 maintain runway heading until above 1,000.
that light is so strong it's showing some other texture. Quite intense, or interesting. But yeah, quite intense as well. Okay, well I think we can go to nav after we reach our 1,000. It should be able to point us in the right direction. Okay. Toga. Okay. No alarms or anything, so that's a good sign. The low pressure went away. Almost at 100 knots. 110, V1. Rotate. Oh, there we go. Let's trim a bit so we do not have to use our hand too much. Gear coming up, positive rate of climb. So yeah, it does have the same, this one. It looks very much the same to the Fokker 27 actually. Okay, we can continue climbing for a bit. Compass light, I guess we can have that on. That's the wipers. We can trim a bit down. We're now at the right altitude to turn left. And here you can really see how big those wind power plants are. Huge. Okay, and we are climbing here over northern Germany. What we'll do is we'll do vertical speed.
Radar control on 123.3 Scandinavian 4003.
And I do wonder where you tweak that vertical speed. It's here, right? Okay, so
Radar
we can
control Scandinavian 4003 climbing to 4,000 feet.
pull it down a bit. We can do autopilot engage. We should be on nav mode.
Heading 335 Scandinavian 4003.
Oh no, it's going directly to... I hate that. We should be going to Gasbo. Of course I managed to screw that up.
090 Scandinavian 4003.
Okay, let's see if we can save this save the day. How do you zoom out? Here, right? There we go. Gasbo.
Heading 335 Scandinavian 4003.
Okay, so at least you can switch these ones. Nonsa. And then Astin we could also do, I think. Let's climb a bit less. Seems like we can't really maintain this. We'll do 1000, and I forgot the flaps. That's the reason why we can't really climb. So that's on me. Okay, so not Buckley, but then
Center on
Astin.
125.8 take care Scandinavian 4003.
There we go. Now we should have a pretty good and
Center
nicely.
Scandinavian 4003 climbing
that's
to
off.
flight level 090.
Now we should have the right flight plan. 090. So this will be a slow climb. Let me have a look though, because we had flex on. We want to go into climb mode. And let's see, what do we have here? That I guess the outside air temperature. Okay, sorry, zooming in a lot on those extra things. Let me see, do you have any detents for this, or is it...
Resume navigation Scandinavian 4003.
Interesting, very interesting. So it's more manual than compared to the ATR or similar. I'm gonna put it down to 900. I'm gonna shut the landing lights, no point having those on. And then I am gonna give you a nice view, because I'm gonna have to go and take something to drink, since I didn't take a break. I was planning to take one when we were changing airplane, but let's see if we have some nicer viewpoint. Maybe we can go a bit higher. It's like that, right? There we go. Okay, I'll be right back.
Climb to flight level 150 Scandinavian 4003.
The pilot has returned to the cabin or to the cockpit. So let's move back. Oh, this is quite far forward actually. Okay, let's have a look. We've been receiving our landing, or sorry, our climbing clearances, but why the hell do we climb so slowly? I mean, this aircraft feels much slower than one we recently flew. Are we too heavy maybe? Yeah, because we're flying super slow. But I guess, I mean, flying a bit slower is more economical to a certain extent, right? As long as you don't have to do multiple flights for this during the same time as you could do a couple of the other ones, right? Da, da, da. Okay, so we're still... Sorry, I kind of left this at a bad... We are still following the navigation. That's good. Seems to have bugged out though, so we only have a white line now instead of the red one. We're going a bit faster now, since we're climbing a bit slower. If we're gonna reach 19,000 feet, that's gonna be hard with this slow speed and this slow ascent rate. What might be doable, we have about 64 nautical miles, 129 for the full thing. Let's see. It's gonna be a long video actually, now that I'm looking at it. I'm sorry about that. I actually noticed now that I'm recording the screen so that you can see this, which we don't want, of course. And that's Yeah, that's another screen I have. Let me see if I can fix this so you don't have to. So if I do a new scene, let's call it scene 3. Sorry about that. Can I add a source? Wait, I'm gonna have to jump a bit here. Maybe a display capture. We can do this one. No, that was wrong. Maybe we can do... Sorry guys, I'm just trying to tweak so you can see it a bit better. Create new window capture. No, that's too... Damn, it's hard to... Yes, I'm gonna remove this. Sorry guys, this wasn't working. I'll go back to the main scene. I'm just not sure why it's pushed. To the left, this whole thing. It's yeah. It's a bit weird. Let me have a look at my display settings actually, because I have this huge... Ah, that's why. Sorry about that, guys. No, but it still seems to affect. I guess the risk now is that I've been showing this all the time on the right, at least when it's been up. So sorry about that, guys. Hope I didn't ruin the video by you seeing the obs thing to the right. Let me have a look. Also, I need to change my display settings again, because now the small screen that I use below my computer is on the wrong side. There we go. The reason why I have it on the right is because it's easier to just go to the right than to go down. Don't want to misclick anything either. But okay, we are climbing slowly, very slowly. But we can speed things up a bit. And I'm actually wondering if there's something that's keeping us from... No, we're on the full values. This one seems maybe a bit low. Okay, we can increase torque. Maybe the right torque was a bit on the weaker side. Okay, I'm gonna climb a bit faster. Let's see if we can reach our cruising altitude. Will probably drop off a bit of speed. That shouldn't be too bad. Let me just have a look at the recording again now to make sure. Ah, now you can see it again. I'm gonna try to put it in a good way, because I usually have it on my right screen. Okay, now it's a bit better. At least a tiny bit. Okay, let's see. 190.
Climb to flight level 190 Scandinavian 4003.
Very nice, the outside. Look at this. Yeah, this looks very nice. Prepar3d can have some nice light effects. Not sure about the water, but it looks okay, I think, from above. It's not that bad. The problem is the land class here that makes everything look a bit off. Being too squarey. And of course the 2D clouds aren't the best either. There's it's not how they look per se, but it's more the coloring is a bit off. I'm thinking it's there because I use True Sky, or enhanced atmospherics. So I think that's a bit messing with it. Maybe if I use volumetric it would be better, but then we wouldn't be able to see the weather coming, we would just suddenly be in the weather. So yeah. And the weather radar wouldn't work as well, so it's a bit of a hit and miss, unfortunately. Okay, soon at Astin, then we should go Buckley, then Tidvu, but we'll be going to Alem, which should be kind of the same. Hopefully, at least. We can start preparing actually for our approach. Our approach to ESMS will be to runway 17, the one we took off from a couple of hours ago, 169 at 11.9. So 169 at 111.9. So 111.9, that's the active one. Course, was it 169, right? So I'm gonna set that. We won't be able to see it because I'll set it on my Logitech panel, and because we have the source selected, right? So we don't see it here. Let's see, what's this test button?
Flying slow.
Okay.
Stop.
Wind shear.
Wind shear.
I've never heard them do any of those things like wind shear.
Take brake.
And I do have active sky to give wind shear warnings, but
Too low. Flaps.
I don't think I've...
Bank angle.
It's very rare to hear wind shear. Okay, we're soon up at our cruising altitude. How much do we have left with this speed? It's gonna be a while. 26 minutes. It's a longer flight because I might not have shown you because of the last time we flew like this. Quite straight in. Now we flew a bit sideways, up and down. Like the end result won't be that much longer, but yeah, let's see. Okay, we're getting up to our cruising altitude now. Can't believe it's having this much trouble though. Is there something I have... No, the flaps are off. There's no speed brake or anything else that could be affecting. I don't know actually. Beats me. We can go to cruise on this one.
Expect the VAKL-1 Sierra arrival with the Buckley transition for the ILS approach to runway 17 Scandinavian 4003. Descend and maintain
Oh,
flight level
no,
190
I forgot to
Scandinavian 4003.
do ASL. That's a rookie mistake by me. I forgot to arm, right? So now we need to descend a bit, but it shouldn't be the worst because we can pick up some speed as we descend to 9,000. So now we have ASL. So let's see now if we pick up some speed. Maybe that should also shorten a bit. Now the destination ETA is 22 minutes, 21 actually. So let's see. And now it's capturing the altitude, so that was my mistake. And we should actually also set the baro reference correctly. So 29902. And now we have pretty good speed. I guess the thrust management computer is doing most of the speed calculations and kind of setting that as long as you have the throttles on the kind of forward detent. Can Can you open the windows on this one? Not in flight at least. That's good. Oh, and I just realized I forgot the boarding music, so we've been listening to that in the background for this whole time. Sorry about that, guys. Should have been the safety video that should be put on. But it was quite soothing music. Let me see, this one is a bit higher because standby. I should have done the standby altimeter as well. It's always good that you have these extra, right? Because if this one stops working, you do have the extra ones. Let me see, yeah. Okay, good, we have the right actual on the VR. And now we're going kind of straight to Malmö. We're gonna go Buckley and then let me zoom out a bit. Looks like quite the similar approach that the one we'll be flying, though the nav data is old on this one, just due to my own fault of noticing that it wasn't updated and then not updating it. Because I do have an old... Oh, look at that. The yaw dampener. Pretty sure these buttons have worked before, but could be wrong. The landing light should be off though. That's something. And I guess that might have created some drag. Depends of course on where they are located. Maybe not actually. If they're in the wing themselves, it might not be that much extra. Which I guess could be good or bad.
Descend via the VAKL1 Sierra
2,500 feet.
Cross CI-17 at or above 2,500 feet. Altimeter is 3006 Scandinavian 4003.
2,500. We can put that there. We'll have a look at our approach again, just to check quickly the decision height. 351. And what's the runway? 200 feet. Let me just move this one as well so we don't get it in the way if I have to double check it. 351. 351. Where can we insert the decision height? We have it here. So 351. We can do that one. Like that. But can we change the actual decision height somewhere? The one that's listed, right? Hey, we do have some. You do have takeoff, config and smoke test. Not sure the fire test though does work, but does it shut by itself, or how do you get rid of that fire test? Ah, that's just logical. Oh, it does go to the middle. Let's see. Well, we can't get rid of these, so that's a bit... Oh, there we go. We can get rid of them. Good. Decision height, fuel flow, gauge. So where's the decision height on this one? The Saab did have one. So it's not impossible to It's not impossible to imagine that this one would have one as well. Somewhere at least. And we need to start descending actually, I just realized. So we're gonna pull the throttle to idle. We'll do a vertical speed. We'll descend at 1.5 I think. We have a long way down. Let's do 1.8. That's 1.7. That should be 1.8. Got too eager trying to find this decision height knob. Interesting scoop, fresh air scoop, okay. But where do we have towing? Well, it could be that it's just there. It might not be simulated. Unless it's one of these, but I think these are light flight deck. Yeah, that's light knobs. Up here maybe? No. Nope. Here we can see the fuel in kilos, so we do have sufficient amounts. And it looks good. We are descending nicely. Can we... There is an aircraft actually. I wonder... A330 maybe? Somewhere out here. Somewhere in the abyss. Okay, I'm gonna give up. I don't think I can find out where this... I was trying to look if I could find somewhere. Guess we'll use this this one for the decision height. Should be sufficient. Let me see now though. Are we still on the same... Looks like Alm is exactly on the same position as Tidvu. That's a bit funny though. So 2500, that's the... We don't need to go this slow. We still have about 44 nautical miles, so I'm gonna add some speed. This is almost approach speed slow. We have about 10 minutes left, so... We need to remember though to switch to... from here to nav 1. That will give that one. Let me see though, if we switch this one, what does it do? Okay, nothing actually. Or nothing that I could notice anyway. Still looks good. The outside is still there. Doesn't look like we'll be getting into any cloud layers, so that is good news. In terms of the airport itself, it's not far. It should be somewhere around here, I think. There it is. That's the airport. So quite a bit away from Malmö, right? You'd have to go with the highway here to get to Malmö. And then of course we have Denmark there. Okay, now let's see, because now it gets interesting after Alm. Do we turn too much? Oh, looks good. We look like we're still on the pilot to ADC path. So that is good news. Very good news. In terms of anything else that needs to be readied, I don't think there's that much else. This works, the test for the voice recorder. We have burnt a bit more on the left one actually. Interesting. Maybe there was a bit of a discrepancy. Or I think there was a while when I was look at this, the torque, right? So we are pushing the left one a bit harder. Let's see if we can. Oh, they don't want to overspeed. Let's see. Can we? I'm gonna. What's going on? Why are we not following the vertical? Sorry about this noise, guys. It should be fixed soon. There we go. Luckily it was only, I mean it was barely overspeeding, we were kind of just at it. I mean we're not even at 230 knots, that's a very low overspeed. So this one doesn't go that fast at all. And here I can see now that we're deviating a bit from the pilot to ADC course actually. You'll notice it here as well. So a bit of a difference. And here, like really, it just looks so much better, the buildings and everything, when it's the photoreal compared to the land class. There's just not even a competition. Okay, sorry, I hit my mic. Okay, let's see. We are maybe a bit high, not that much though. Nothing crazy at least. You can zoom into 5 nautical miles, I think this is pretty good. Oh, we have been assigned a totally different frequency, but now it seems like it got stuck, like it sometimes do. So let's switch frequency ourselves.
Scandinavian 4003 descending to 2,500 feet. Scandinavian 4003, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too. Wait, sorry, I'm just checking my taskbar settings. We can descend with 1,000 feet per minute. I don't think we're in a rush. Okay, let's see. So we're turning now inbound for the final approach. The light should have gone on at 10,000, forgot that. Taxi lights can't go on until we have the gear down. So that's good to know. Now let's see. We're still turning. Looks okay. Or maybe a bit slow. Gonna add a bit of thrust. Nothing too crazy. But I mean, we're not even doing 200 knots, which I guess makes sense if we're a turboprop, but still. We're getting the ILS clearance now.
Cleared for the ILS approach to runway 17 tower on 118.8 Scandinavian 4003.
And what should we be at the approach? We should be at 2,500 feet, which is what we have inserted.
Scandinavian 4003 altimeter is 3006.
I'll slow it down a bit. I'll add flaps 5.
Altimeter is 3006 tower on 118.8 Scandinavian.
Oh yeah,
4003.
altimeter 3006. We'll just follow them instead of checking active sky. We can trust them, right?
Tower Scandinavian 4003 inbound for ILS approach runway
Might be
17.
good. Oh, I forgot to update the weather station here. 3001. Quite a bit of a difference.
ILS approach to runway 17 will call when established on final Scandinavian 4003.
And there's the runway. And let's now switch to nav. Oh yeah, sorry, we need to do approach like that. We can do the full arc and then map like this. Oh, and we forgot to do the ASL, so that's a bit embarrassing. There we go. Now it's activated. We're a bit to the left. So yeah, a bit of bug fixing on my end. Like that. Now hopefully we should be getting back. I'm gonna drop the gears. Go one more flap. Add the taxi lights. Let's have a look now. Okay, and we're a bit high.
Think rate. Think rate.
I'm gonna take controls because I don't trust the AI, or I don't trust the autopilot there. It was just me who didn't set it up properly. Should have done the ASL and then gotten the localizer to show here with just minor inconveniences. Okay, let's see. We are okay. It's going quite okay, and you can hear me setting the flaps. We're a bit low now.
Scandinavian 4003 winds are 122 at 8 knots, clear to land runway 17.
And
Clear to land
we got the
runway
landing
17
clearance,
Scandinavian
even though we didn't call
4003.
establish on final. But that's fine. Could be worse.
500. Flight slow. Flight slow.
Okay, let's see.
Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow.
Oh, we're a bit low.
Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow.
Doesn't feel like we're that
Flight
low
slow.
though. Let's see. But
Flight.
yeah, I can see. Okay, now we're. Okay, it was just a matter of minor corrections. Okay, let's see. Coming in a bit hard or a bit hot. Should be okay. Let's see. I think could have flared a bit more.
Scandinavian
So that was not as good of a landing. It wasn't bad, but could have flared a bit more. Can we turn here? Doesn't look like it. In order to save some time, we are gonna do a bit of a turn. Get down on the... Does this one have any speed brakes? No speed brakes. But yeah, here we are. Malmö. Not that much traffic. We do though have a Boeing. Maybe it's not here, it could be up in the air though. Maybe an A330. Let's see once we get here. Nothing I can see though. Could be that they're just flying. I think we have that. No, we only have an Embraer here. These are all. It seems to be. I think all of them are just static aircraft. So yeah, well, nothing to see here. Statics, unfortunately. Oh, it's too easy to gain trust with this one. It's hard to lose that. Okay, let's turn here. Scandinavian 4003, ready to taxi. We don't need those lights.
Taxi to stand 8 via taxiways Delta, Scandinavian 4003.
And that was nice. I got the... We didn't have to go through ground first. And let's end this where we began. Gate 27. Gonna ask them to set it up with sus white. And let's go and park there and wrap this video up. Oh, going a bit fast. And the next one is 27. So we'll cut some corners here. Tad bit. And let's see, are they... God, she is, or he is very bright. Let's save her from that. She's gonna say that we're a bit askew. We can cut the engines. Bye bye engines. I can open the door. Seatbelt signs off. Deboarding. And flight 226. Quite a bit harder landing. But we got here. All in one piece. So let's have a look at the replay. 261.
Flight slow.
Yeah, this should be enough.
Flight slow. Flight slow.
Glide
Flight
slow.
Flight slow. Flight slow.
I think we
Flight
corrected
slow.
around here.
Flight slow.
I hope.
Flight slow.
There. Quite an interesting airport. I have never been to this one actually. Been to Copenhagen, Gothenburg, but never here. At Sturup. Okay, let's see. We're coming down quite nicely. Then we do flare a bit. Okay, at least we got down with the backs before the fronts, but yeah, we maybe could have flared a bit more. But okay, that will do. Hope you enjoyed this video with the Fokkers, a Fokker Frenzy video. I don't think there's too much to say. The Just Flight one, maybe a bit higher on the system. Simulation felt nicer to fly as well. This one was a bit more tricky. This is not the best Carenado one. I think the ATR is the best one they have. Still need to get that B120, the Embraer one, and check that one out. I've heard that one is also quite good. Saw some video with a real Embraer pilot flying that and he was quite impressed. But I Yeah. No, but I think apart from that, I mean, the Carenados are always a bit of a hit and miss. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. And until next time, bye bye.